Hickle, let's go to the hotline. And let's welcome in the head coach of the state-ranked Liberty-Eylau Leopards to Texarkana. We go to talk with Coach Brad Willard. Coach, how are you?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
Doing excellent. How are things in Texarkana?
Just great. Another day.
Well, it is another day, and it's a good day to be a Leopard. You guys are off to a 2-0 start after last week's thrilling win on the road at Henderson. You're new to the program, and obviously coming in, you never know exactly what you're inheriting. Through these first 2 weeks, what do you feel like maybe you've learned about this team? What do you feel like maybe you know about them now that maybe when you took the job you didn't know?
I think the biggest takeaway so far has been their eagerness to win. They've been wanting this. They've been wanting to taste success, and just having kind of, some fresh faces in the program, I think has gone a long way. But their eagerness to want to be good and work to be good has been what stood out so far.
This is a program that, you're taking over. It's your first year there at Liberty-Eylau. And you had a good thing going there at Tyler Legacy. You were very successful in your time there at Mount Vernon as well as the head coach. I know that, how do I want to say? I know there have been opportunities for you out there to be a head coach. Why was Liberty-Eylau the right move for you? What was so attractive about this particular position?
A bunch of things stood out. I've kept up with Ellie for a couple years. Coach Hall is our offense coordinator. Ellie graduate in 2014. He was in Waco with me. So I've kept up with Ellie for quite a while, and he was with me in Mount Vernon, went to Legacy. So I've kept up. I've known just the pure talent that Ellie has. And then getting to talk to different people around here, Mr. Wright, the superintendent, kind of getting in conversations with him. I knew the people making the decisions, the important decisions for the district, were in the right place. So a lot of attractive parts of the job.
Talking with Brad Willard, the head coach of the Liberty-Eylau Leopards here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, one of the things that has really stood out to me about your ball club in the first couple of weeks has been your QB1, Trip Basinger, a guy who has been razor sharp for you. I know you're a guy who likes to get your quarterback going, and he's really the straw that stirs the drink. The numbers are impressive. I watched some tape on him, and he seems like a well put together young quarterback. But as the guy who gets to see him every day in practice in the locker room, what is it about your QB1, Trip Basinger, that really makes him special?
Well, first off, he's smarter than me, so that helps. He makes me feel a little bad about myself sometimes, but he is just the leader on the field. Everyone trusts him with the ball in his hands. You mentioned just kind of his stats. His completion percentage is really high through 2 weeks for the style of offense that we play. So on top of the fact that he's the smartest kid on the field, tough, his numbers just speak for themselves. And if he continues to do stuff like this, the sky's the limit for where he can go.
And then I do have to ask you about a guy who I believe is up for Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his first name, but DeQuan Prevost, is that correct?
DeQuan
Prevost. He had a whole dang season's worth of stats last week in your win over Henderson. 10 catches, 258 yards, and 3 touchdowns. This kid, an unbelievable performance last week. And through two weeks, he's been outstanding. What is it about him that has him playing at such a high level?
Yeah, just pure talent obviously goes a long way. So he's really fast. And that works well for our offense. And what we saw last week against Henderson was the ability to make people miss. He had one deep ball that was for about 40 yards down the field. And then after that, the longest throw that he caught was about 12 to 15 yards down the field. So he accumulated a lot of that run after the catch.
Brad Willard of Texarkana Liberty-Eylau joined us here on Texas Football Today. And Coach, let me ask you about the other side of the ball, on the defensive side. Last week, Henderson, high-powered offense, they got theirs, but overall your defense has been able to make plays when they needed to. What have you seen from your defense in the first couple of weeks?
We have a lot of young guys that are stepping up to the plate and making a lot of tackles. A couple to name. Malik Stevens, sophomore, playing some linebacker, just makes all he does is make tackles. He's around the ball. He's aggressive. A couple defensive linemen, couple secondary guys that haven't had the opportunity to play before. and they're stepping up to the moment. And even last week against Henderson, we're forcing turnovers, getting timely stops, and just playing hard.
And Coach, I do have to ask you about tomorrow night. The good thing is you're at home, and you have some notable visitors coming into town. Carthage, obviously needs no introduction, does that program, but also notably a team that knocked this Liberty-Eylau program out of the playoffs last year. I know you've been in the lab, and I'm not going to ask you to give away your game plan here on the air, but when you take a look at the Bulldogs that are coming to town tomorrow night, I'm curious what you see.
I see a pretty decent football team. No, not kidding about that. I mean, they're obviously really good, real well coached. I mean, all the stuff that everyone knows about them. Offensive line and defensive line really stand out. The running back is better than advertised, and I think he's advertised pretty well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they just have a lot of top-end talent, and their offensive line and defensive line keep them going.
Finally, Coach, I do have to ask you, I think people may know this about you, but you are a Baylor Bear, former Baylor Bear running back, and, of course, Cedar Park Timberwolf. We like to make sure we shout this out here. I am curious, give me the state of the Bears address here from a former Baylor player, Baylor letter winner. How are we feeling about the Baylor Bears these days?
Man, this is one of my first times to be able to do it, but I'm obviously a Coach Browse guy, so things are a little bit different for me and what's happened over the last couple years. So I can proudly say I have no idea how the school in Waco is doing.
He's Brad Willard. He's the head coach of the Liberty-Eylau Leopards. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the fantastic start, and go get them tomorrow night.
I appreciate it, and thank you all for all y'all do.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. There he goes. Brad Willard, head coach of the Liberty-Eylau Leopards. Join us here at Texas Football Today.